Gaming has never exactly had a good reputation amongst news outlets and general media. It's often portrayed in a negative light. They say things along the lines of gaming causes violence or students have bad grades because of gaming.
And less than a year ago, the American Psychological Association made a definitive statement. There is a clear, unequivocal link between violent video games, violent behavior.
We must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace.
Well, I mean, I'm not supremely worried about it just because the consumption of these violent video games has been going up continuously since the early 90s, and yet youth violence has been going down since the early 90s. The correlation actually doesn't fit.
All these sentiments have been a constant debate in the media for years. From that, the common stereotype for gamers are what people describe as nerds and shut-ins with no social skills. Gamers often felt ashamed that they liked playing video games because they didn't want to fit into those stereotypes.
I think the media portrayed it as like this thing that bad kids do, or like even that nerds do. But I think, you know, nowadays it's kind of just a way people hang out. It's kind of just like playing Monopoly, or it's become the norm.
With the amount of news and media outlets using video games as a reason for violence and poor performance in school, it almost seems like playing video games is this absolutely heinous activity that no one should partake in. So this begs the question of why is gaming growing day by day when it has such a negative connotation amongst the media?
Flank you for a moment. One's hook still, hook still. Jump down, jump down, jump down. Hook up, hook up. Nice.
Chase the wind and touch the sky. A star's light shines on long after it dies. Oh, in the night, live every day as if it's your last. Our memories been bright like beacons of the past. Oh, in the night, now we race against the sun. Now we race against the
Done what no one may ever do again. Intel Grand Slam, Team Liquid.
Curtis, stop laughing. Come on, bro. Curtis, you had the shot.
He's over here now,
against the sun. Now we race against the sun.
Video games, at its very core, is a way to have fun.
Where's the Malphite ult?
It's a way to de-stress, it's a way to compete, it's a way to be immersed, it's a way to be away from the real world. With that, video games have become a lifestyle to so many people in the world.
I'm James Dash Patterson standing alongside Frost, Chad, Deficio, and Vedius. We've made it to the World Finals.
It's extremely easy to lose yourself in video games. Games today have just as much depth and immersion, if not more, than movies and TV shows. A great game that's stimulating can leave the player absolutely engrossed for hours on end.
Huh? As who?
The first guy I ever loved.
In the beginning, we had these games where you could probably count on your hands how many pixels they have. Now, some games look so realistic, there could be cases where you can't tell if it's a game or real life.
I'm impressed. It's nothing.
With the advancement of video game development, the culture surrounding video games have also changed. The rise of esports and streaming took the world by storm. It opened the world's eyes that, contrary to popular belief, gaming can be an amazing lifestyle for students, children, and even adults. There are so many avenues of careers. Some players take on competitive games and try their hand at esports, while others like making content and stream their games online and create whole communities. Gaming has something for everyone.
My name is Brandon Batara, and I am a college student at PNW, Purdue Northwest, and I play esports, specifically League of Legends, and I play the role of support.
Time Udon beat on trying to dance in backline, almost goes down, dodges away from the sniper shot, gets a dodge on the root, very nice wind ball, and the knockup once again, and he goes right back in! Oh, the man is a legend, a double kill sets him at 10.
Having a focus on competitive esports, it has its pros and cons. Yes, we do get, benefits, as in like we're treated as legitimate athletes, so we get, bonuses, scholarships, all that good stuff. But the downside is like, as every sport in college would be, you have to practice almost every day. You're pretty much doing that outside of school, unless you have like classes, obviously.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Udon Beaton taking our player of the series MVP.
Gaming as a hobby does not sit well with a lot of parents. It's often considered as a distraction, as they think it has nothing to do with their studies. Parents have even gone as far as destroying their children's consoles and computers just to stop them from playing.
No.
Are you serious? I was legit just playing, League of Legends all day, and thus I had to do something. And it would kind of irritate them.
Competitive esports players are no exception. Esports was not acknowledged as an industry until the last decade. It was often portrayed as a joke and a waste of time.
I'm laughing because I can't think of anything less interesting, but I'm totally in the minority. First of all, explain how you can make a profession out of this. How do they actually get paid?
Legendary esports competitors like Peter Doublelift Pang had to go through the lengths of running away from home just to play League of Legends competitively. He then went on to be the champion of the North American League Championship Series 8 times throughout his entire career, with each grand finals having hundreds of thousands of viewers online and tens of thousands of viewers attending to watch live.
1600 damage crit. Double low. Medios, another knockup, trades his life, but it does. Gets the GA. Double killing them all. Kills everybody. They've got 3. Impact goes down. And A's for TS down. Double lift turns around the fight. Staying alive. So much patience. Bides his time.
Players like Doublelift paved the way of esports for so many young, aspiring players that are passionate about esports.
It's something that I loved and I've enjoyed doing for a long time, and I'm finally, glad that they were able to see how much practice I put in over the years and putting myself out there as a collegiate player.
When I started playing games, you couldn't get a scholarship to go to school, and now kids are getting scholarships to go to college just from playing a video game. I think it's really good.
With esports and gaming blowing up in the past decade, it has become an extracurricular in many schools. This brings the discussion of gamers and their school performance. Contrary to popular belief, studies show that video games are not the problem when it comes to students' poor performance in school. It turns out they actually help stimulate the students towards higher motivation in school, increased problem-solving skills, and even reaction time.
I definitely think that there are games that help stabilize the brain, as in, maintaining that the amount of thinking you have to do. Like League of Legends is consistent thinking, so that game is always making you think about your decisions. Even like fighter games, right? Like you just have to know these fighters' movesets, or you're just gonna get stomped, right? So I definitely don't think that video games are rotting your brain. If anything, I definitely think it's keeping it active mentally.
Putting competitive esports aside, there's also a side of gaming where it's considered as a pastime, stress reliever, and for overall fun. Whether it be playing games with and against other players, single-player story games, or co-op games, just like movies and TV shows, people can load up their favorite game, sit back, and enjoy.
The main reason I play games is to relieve some stress. I think, the world moves so fast that taking a second, spending some time not focusing on the real world, and kind of just diving in and playing some of these games really does help with stress, especially when you're working a lot or studying a lot.
Games have been more accessible than ever now with the growth of media platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and more recently TikTok. A consumer does not even have to be playing games to be enjoying them. Communities like this open a lot of opportunities for casual gamers, just like esports open opportunities for competitive gamers.
There is legit like endless content. Anyone can make any type of content. Everyone is open and available to the content. As long as you're being creative and, you know, putting yourself out there, and you make sure that the content doesn't get boring, you're talking, you know, that eventually you're gonna get big.
Streaming and content creation for video games have been on the rise for the past decade and have grown even more due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Organizations like 100 Thieves, TSM, Cloud9, and Team Liquid are prestigious multi-million-dollar organizations focused on esports and also pick out content creators to build their brand. Top content creators harbor millions of views per video, and tens of thousands of people tune into top streamers' streams every single day. These organizations and content creators are creating communities revolving around gaming that are larger than ever before.
It's bringing so many opportunities, even in schools, you know, having clubs and different outlets for people to get together and experience a friendship with people who enjoy the same things.
With how gaming has provided so many opportunities for people, it's hard to even believe how its negative connotations came to be. The gaming community and industry are full of passionate players that all like one thing: video games. These growing opportunities prove that gamers are not what the media thinks they are, and they show no sign of stopping. There are so many different players out there that play games for different purposes. Games provide players with a range of high-octane competition, to light-hearted party games to epic fantastical worlds. No matter the person, gaming has something for everyone.
Ha ha ha!